Welcome to another episode of Mars versus Venus. I'm your host, What's in Store with Timor, and I have a wonderful co-host to the left of me, Miss Natasha.
Hello, hello.
Say hello to the people.
Hello, hello.
All right, now I got my man 50 grand to the left of me, Mr. Adrian. How's it going today?
Good, sir. Yourself?
Oh, we got a doozy of a show for you today. Great questions, and I hope you listeners love it just as much. We're gonna just jump into it a little bit like this. When you're dealing with relationships and you're dealing with either a marriage or a very serious relationship, is it okay for your mate to have full access to your life as far as privacy codes, passwords, things of that nature? Anybody can take it.
I mean, if you have trust in a relationship, there shouldn't be passwords and stuff like that. Unless you got your Facebook, but everybody should have at least a little bit of privacy, because if there's trust, then why not? Why not have your own Facebook? Why not have your own Twitter? I wouldn't even be friends with my mate, though.
You wouldn't?
No.
Wowzers. One word, three letters. Wow. And why is that?
Because it's too easy to get caught up into the social media. I mean, if somebody's on there and they like a picture and I go on there, why is she liking his picture? Like, I don't want to do that, and I don't know who she is. It could be family from out of state that I never met before. And then I get all, bent out of shape over a girl. I have no idea who she is. And then it causes a conflict in my relationship. And now there's, mistrust. And now I'm insecure. Now I'm going to want to be like watching what he's doing. And I've never been a jealous person. I don't want to do that.
Great points there, Natasha. How about you, Mr. Adrian?
I believe when it comes to dating, it all depends on the dynamics of the relationship. If you're dating, not married, maybe not. It depends on the actual couple. If you're engaged or dating, looking to be engaged or married, then I think you can start incorporating that. But if you are married, I don't think there should be a limitation to access codes. For the simple fact, you're supposed to be one, you're supposed to be a unit. So if that's your access code, that's his, that's hers. That's just my preference.
True indeed. I agree with that. If the marriage is strong, the marriage is tight, what's the secrets about?
Right.
Here's another question, and this one here is a doozy. This one here is something to really think about. Okay, if you're in a relationship, married or a very serious relationship, and you get with somebody, does their sexual past matter? And I'm gonna give you an example. Just say if you were messing with a guy, and this guy was messing with the guys for a good portion of his life, and he decided that he turned over a new leaf, he got saved, or did something religious, and he wanted to date women now. How would you feel about that?
Okay, bisexual is different than past relationship. Bisexual is something I would have to know, because I don't want us to be out somewhere and this guy come up and just be like, hey, boo. Like, did he just call you boo? Like, I don't want to be caught off guard.
Right.
I can accept everybody for their past. I don't, want to know your numbers, and I'm not going to share mine, because that's just my past, and there's a reason it's my past. And everybody has a reason why they did things that they did in their past. They were young, immature, whatever. But I would have to know about the bisexual thing.
Let me chime in on this one right quick, and I'm coming right to you, Adrian.
No problem.
Let me chime in on this one. If you ask a woman, which real men don't, but if you ask a woman, how many guys you been with? This is the rule universal around the nation. A girl might be like, I might have slept with 5 guys. But in reality, 5 means 50.
Right.
5 means 60. So you're never going to get the true number. And as a man, you really don't want to know that real number.
You really don't.
Because we got a lot of ego, a lot of pride going on. You don't want to really hear that real number, because you're gonna look at her a certain type of way.
Right.
But go ahead and chime in, Adrian.
I believe. I guess I'd have to speak from, like another male standpoint. If that was a man, because I look at it differently. If a man used to be a homosexual, then he got saved and changed his life. I believe from a woman's standpoint, to protect herself, you all should really go get some kind of testing and make sure everything is cool.
True.
Make sure he doesn't have any more of those tendencies or even thinks about that anymore. But I guess it would be a totally different scenario. Like if it was like for me, if I was entering a relationship with a female that used to be a lesbian or something like that, because the truth of the matter is, when it comes from most guys' standpoint, they wouldn't even care if they went back to that lifestyle again, to be honest,
True.
you know. But me personally, I would just want it to be, I don't like sharing, you know what I mean? So I would just want to be, if that's what you used to do, I believe anybody can change, and I cannot sit in judgment of you. But, you know, if your feelings are strong enough to deal with that, it is what it is.
That's a good point, Adrian. And I'm going to take a little bit off what you said. I seen our producer earlier running around here with the broom.
Yeah.
So you probably would do the booty test with the broom to see if
Right.
he had any of those old tendencies,
Right.
jumping back and
Right.
forth, you know,
Right.
slapping with the broom and see if he...
If he jumps,
True
you
indeed.
straight. But if he don't jump,
you got a problem on your
that's
hands.
it.
True
On to the
indeed.
next.
Okay, we're going to jump into this third question. And you may want to touch on this a little bit. Is it possible to live with someone that you used to date and you guys not be sexual or any intimacy? Is that possible? Is it possible to go from lovers to just flat out roommates?
It would depend on the person that you are. Some people can't do that. I know I personally have had male roommates that I have no contact with in a sexual way whatsoever. But I'm one of the females, I get along with men better than I do women. And it's just my likes and dislikes. I don't have a lot of female friends
No,
because I don't know.
I wonder about that because I hear a lot of females say that I don't have a lot of female friends. But I wonder, like, why is that? Like, why do you have so many male friends than female counterparts?
I don't like, a lot of women are catty. A lot of women, when they get with men, think that you're automatically going to be after their man. Even if you are their best friend, they automatically are instantly insecure about you being around them. That's just not my thing. Women and I just, like I said, we don't get along. I have 3 female best friends, and we've been friends for years. And I can be trusted with them around their mates, and I trust them around mine. So, and I believe, like, anything that they say, because we've never had no, like, animosity when it comes to anything. Kids, family, friends, whatever. We're open and honest about it all. A lot of women can't do that with each other. They keep guards up when it comes to other females.
Good point. You want to chime in on that, Adrian?
I think from what you were saying before when you were talking about like your personal preference as far as having more friendships with males rather than females, I think sometimes females get intimidated for the simple fact that they see you with more male friends than females. They look at you as like, oh, well, she's going to do something if she comes around me with if I have a male in her presence or something like that, and then they look at it with like, I'll just not be cool. Or either they just go from the point of not even being mature enough not to say anything or not be your friend, but they'd rather talk about you and downgrade you to a certain extent. But on the standpoint, I believe of being able to live with somebody that you used to date or be in a relationship with, I believe you could. It depends on the relationship you have with them before y'all even became roommates. Let's say you all were broken up and y'all were cool on a level you could be around their boyfriend or girlfriend now and not have an issue with it or feel some type of way.
Yeah.
I believe you could be roommates. But if you have a problem seeing them with somebody else after you broke up, I don't believe you could be roommates. Because there's gonna be a time where they have company come over and that's not gonna work for you.
Here's a spin to this question too. If you guys were together and you decided to be roommates, would it be cool to date other people? And I thought about this a little bit. I'm like, if I come in one night from the club and my ex is there and she has company and I just so happen to go to the kitchen and go get some juice and I just hear some old craziness going on and
Right.
he putting in work. Sound like harder than me. I'm gonna feel some type of way about it. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute now.
Right.
You know, but it'd have to take a very strong individual to, my personal opinion, a very strong individual to be okay with that. Especially if you were married and then you guys went from being married to rooming.
I definitely come work.
To rooming to I'm gonna just go out here and mingle during
My
this
grandparents
process.
are like that. They've been divorced since 1989, and they live in the same house still to this day. Separate bedrooms, separate lives, everything.
They mingle?
Yep. They have family functions.
You
everything.
said grandparents.
Yes.
So they grew up kind of in that hippie era.
Mm-hmm. Well, my
But the
grandparents are in their
institution of
80s.
marriage then was totally different than it is now,
Right.
too, though.
Yeah.
You know?
What would you
I
say?
believe it is because a lot of times, from females and man's standpoint, like my mother and father have been married, and they've went through their whole issues in marriage. But the reality is, my mom can have male friends, my dad can have female friends, but they both know the boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, we live in a society now, females my age, older, younger, they can see you talking to another, even as boyfriend and girlfriend, they can see you talking to another female, and that's a whole World War II going on when you get back to the house.
True.
It's not like it used to be. And then a lot of stuff that men and female would put up with and work through and have a healthy marriage in the long run, younger adults like myself, they're not willing to do that now.
Well, you know, because we're dealing with, like, in my opinion, we're dealing with like the microwave society.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is right now, right here, ASAP. You know, nobody's willing to put in the work. Nobody's willing to put in the time. Nobody's willing to put in the effort. You know, it's all about if you meet anything that's challenging just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing the white towel in. I quit immediately. You know, so it has a lot to do. It has a lot to do with society. It has a lot to do with your upbringing. It has a lot to do with what you believe in.
Right.
You know, your morals and your character.
Right.
You know, but that's deep. That's pretty deep, man. In today's society, man, a lot of people just throwing in the towel and waving and saying whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we're gonna touch on that when we come back. You are tuned in to Mars versus Venus.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.
Welcome back to another episode of Mars versus Venus. I'm your host with the most, What's in Store with T. Moore, and my co-host to the left of me, Miss
Natasha.
And my other co-host,
Adrian.
Now, before we left, we were talking about relationship matters. And I want to jump right into this question here. And we can flip it after I ask it. This is for you, Natasha. Would you date a man after he pays child support and his taxes and only brought home $161 every 2 weeks?
As long as he was putting into the home, then yeah. If he's just coming home, taking a shower, leaving with the $150 coming home broke, no. No, if you're not helping me, then there's no need to even be here. Take your $150 and go wherever you was going. Stay over there with them, because I mean, it's supposed to be, a together thing. It's supposed to be our money. I'm working, you're working. You're doing what you're supposed to do outside of the home. As in going to work and paying your child support and tax stuff like that. But you have to help at home as well.
Good point. Now we can flip that question, Adrian. If you were dating a woman and she only brought home $161 after taxes, after child support, how would you?
To me, to be honest, it depends on her character and what she brought to the table. Not even so much from a financial standpoint. If she was there as far as like a woman, a mother, if there was children involved, and her attributes to the household as a whole. The $151, that's not really that big of a deal to me, because if we're living under the same roof, I'm going to be paying the majority of the bills anyway. Second of all, if she had like an outrageous car note or something like that, as long as you could put maybe at least half or something on that, that would be cool too. But the main thing is just showing thankfulness and you know, having a willing heart and to be in the thing. You know what I mean? If this is what you want and this is all you can bring to the table, as long as you're positive about it, I'm cool with it.
That's a good point.
I don't want you going out kicking it and you know, spinning it away. If that's what you're gonna do, then you can go ahead about your business. But other than that,
what about sometimes? What about if she gets down on herself? She's only bringing home so much. She's always at home. She's a good girl, and she just wants to step out with her girlfriend sometime.
That's cool too. Because the truth of the matter is, it comes to the point where people say they don't, but they do. If you don't permit it, they'll be cool with it for a while. But then if you keep on doing that, they just gonna take their way, go wild. You know what I mean? And that's with anybody. You know, everybody got to have their freedom. Everybody got to let their hair down. Everybody got to be their own person every once in a while. You can't be a unit at all times.
No, you will explode.
So, yeah.
If you continuously keep blowing something up, the end result is explosion. You know, so you need that release. You need that fresh air. You need that time to just let your hair down and hang out. Yeah, that's a great point. Here's another question, and I really like this question. Would you guys date anyone that has a sex industry past, meaning porn or stripping? And I thought about this one. It's like coming up as a young boy, and still to this day I tell you, porn is something that I have an affinity for. I like porn. I watch porn to learn. I watch porn to try things.
Amen.
I watch porn to, that's impressive. You know, it's a fantasy. It's an illusion almost. But I try to take what I've seen. I try to take notes on what I've learned and try. How about you guys? Would you guys date a male or female that was really hardcore into porn, like really one of the famous porn stars or one of the famous strippers?
Porn, I don't think I could. Stripper, I could if it was like when they were younger, because it's different. Like, I mean, you're taking your clothes off for money for college or whatever reason, but when you're in the act and it's consistent and you're one of the top ones, I mean, that's a lot of background. It also goes back to, would you like to know how many people that your partner had been with? And it's like, that's knowing. Everybody knows what your partner can do. I don't want everybody to know, things that's going on in the bedroom.
Right.
And they will know because they've seen them. And that's, I'm like, oh, wow.
I thought about this too. It's like, you don't want a virgin because a virgin is boring. Unless you one of those professor types that really like to teach step by step, walk through.
That's a dominating person.
I'm not that person. I want a person that's seasoned, but not the whole batch. I want a person that's sexual enough or experienced enough to hold my attention, to keep my attention, to just don't throw all 31 flavors on me on one night. Give it to me in January, then throw something on me new on March, and then switch it up.
Keep new for my birthday.
Yeah, keep my mind going, keep my imagination going, keep me, intertwined in the ball game. Just don't come out the shop swinging off the pole and booty dropping and shaking and you're licking, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
I got this bag over here. What's in that bag?
When I say whoa, I mean whoa, cowboy. But you want to gradual grow into that process. What about you? Could you?
To be honest, I have in the past. I've dated someone that used to dance before.
Okay.
So that that was some years back in their past, which I understood that. And one thing that helps too, it might be different for some people. One thing that helped me, she didn't live in this state. So, and then it's even better, it wasn't in the city. You know what I mean? Because you could be out somewhere with your female, with your lady friend. Somebody come up to me like, "Oh yeah, I know your face," but like, "Well, I didn't recognize you with your clothes on."
Yeah,
so that right there, that's gonna hurt your ego.
Right.
Then second of all, as far as like in the professional porn business, to be honest, I don't really think I could. And I'm not being judgmental. I just don't think I could for the simple fact we talked on the first segment about we didn't want to know how many partners somebody had. And this one right here, you pretty much got like a bird's eye view of how many they had. You know what I mean?
YouTube.
So, right. So I don't, me personally, unless, and I'm not saying that thought process could never change, but as I sit right now, I couldn't.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of hard to really live up to. I mean, considering if you could go and watch it and see the pounding or see that she's taking,
right.
And then you're thinking in your mind, can I follow this? You know, as a man, your ego gonna be a little shattered. Like, I don't know, I might need some help. You know,
right.
You know,
right.
But yeah. But here's another question: would you date a woman that had 6 kids and 5 baby fathers? Like, would you seriously date this woman? Would you seriously date this woman?
You know what? I wouldn't say no, for the simple fact.
No, let me say it again.
Okay.
6 kids.
Yeah, 5
and 5 baby fathers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? The reason why I say this, I wouldn't say no, because of different aspects I dealt with females on. Like I've dealt with teenage females from past experience I've had dealing with like in court systems.
Okay.
So you look at it as some of these females were actually looking and searching for a father figure while they was going through this. But the sad part is they had nobody to tell them how to control their standards, how to keep their standards high, and what to look for in men. Now, I'm not saying that some of them weren't foolish mistakes, but it goes back to the whole point, like, should I really judge this person for that? Because in reality is I might be a good person, a good woman, underneath all of that you got to deal with.
Right.
But the question is, to me, is like, can you deal with that? Because first of all, if you're dealing with 6 kids, it's not yours. Then you're dealing with 5 different types of somebody else's genetic buildup. So you're looking at maybe one of the dads might be a psychopath. The other dad might be ex-con. The other dad might be schizophrenic. So you're dealing with, later on down the road, you're going to have to deal with each baby dad, even when they're not even on the scene. You're going to have to deal with it through their seed. So that's what it comes down to, that you're going to have the mindset that is your love for this woman strong enough to deal with these crazy kids.
That's true. That's true. And those three you hit, I don't know if I can deal with that. Schizophrenic, what you said, bipolar?
Kids.
Yeah, that'd be a tough situation. Let's flip it. Could you date a man that had 6 kids, 5 baby mothers?
No.
Just no off top.
No,
because what if this man treated you like gold?
But it's not just him and the kids. I've got 5 females that I have to deal with who I don't know them, but 9 out of 10 of them, they're gonna have an attitude. They're gonna, I don't want her around my kids. I don't want her to do this with my kids. And I have 2 kids of my own, and I'm not like that. But I've seen it. I've been around it. My son's dad has 5 kids, 5 different women. Not at the time that I dated him, but they are around, and I have drama from all of them, and I'm not with him. And it's a very difficult thing to deal with, And then the kids aren't around all the other kids, especially if you end up having one together. And then it's branched off, and then you don't know who's related to who, and then it just turns into a bigger mess.
Well, here's a quick twist to that. So you're worried about the verbal, and maybe even going to a physical confrontation.
Right.
Now, what if all the baby mamas did sign language and they couldn't speak?
Okay. Then that would be different. Like not that they couldn't speak, but they're still gonna be around. They're gonna still have the attitude. They're still gonna be, down my throat. Plus, I'm gonna have the kids. Well, my mom don't like you. Well, that's. I don't have to listen to you.
True.
I don't have to listen to you. You're not my mom. That's a lot. It's.
We're getting ready to wrap it up. Any parting shots before we leave? Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Mars versus Venus, and we'll be back in 2 and 2 right back at you. Peace.